Okay, folks, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew on Jess TV Live from Lethbridge, Canada, a tremendous project with global distribution on the Marilyn Monroe Show, folks. You can watch live on Roku TV, SSH 101, NCG Television Network, and JESSFM.ca. And I'm here to announce my fabulous multi-award-winning film composer, Mariano Saulino. He wins the Best Film Composer Awards at the Music Awards in Hollywood every year, folks. He's absolutely fabulous. I'm also the grandson of prolific, pioneering, Hall of Fame legendary motion picture director, Jack Stubbs, the creators of Captain America and the Monroe Universe on film. My grandfather was best friends with Walt Disney and his sister Ruth. They used to frequent our home to dinner parties on a regular basis. And here on the Marilyn Monroe Show, I'm here to announce my fabulous film composer that we have NDAs and have signed contracts to create 6 Marilyn Monroe genre films. Here is Mariano Saulino, my award-winning film composer. How you doing, Mariano?
How you doing, David? Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes, thanks for coming. And you're down in Argentina at the moment.
Yeah, I'm flying to Los Angeles tomorrow, so it's an exciting moment.
That's absolutely fabulous. And Mariano, you have out in Calabasas in the San Fernando Valley, in my hometown neighborhood.
Yeah, nice place. Yeah,
it's beautiful out there, isn't it? You have a Pioneer recording and music.
Penguin Recording Studios. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you want to tell us a little bit about your studios so we can showcase your work and your projects out there, Pioneer?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, we work for the independent industry, for indie filmmakers, which is something I really love because it's not about marketing and all that stuff. It's really art. When you work with an indie director, you go right to the thing, right to the art, what you would like to express, what you like to really do with your art. That is something I really love. Also is, a teamwork, absolutely teamwork, because funding an indie film, it's really hard. And you have to, put everything you got to help the director to tell the story he or she wants to tell. So I think it's something that it's so exciting to me every time I'm taking in new projects. It's a kind of little microcosmos, it's a new universe to discover. So it's something I really love to do.
Absolutely fabulous. You go down to the LA Music Awards, you win the Best Film Composer Award.
Yeah.
Multiple film festivals. You've done over 100 motion picture projects and music projects throughout your career. You want to talk about some of your favorite projects, your highs and lows, and some of the best actors and actresses that you've worked with throughout your career?
I want to be fair. I'm not going to say which one is my favorite because it's going to be unfair to the other ones. But, I have worked with a lot of directors. You imagine over 100 films, and I think over 80 or more directors. It's a lot. And it's, as I told you, it's a different universe, a different world for each one, and that's my pleasure, to get into that adventure. And it's been an honor also to be awarded at Hollywood, with 3 or 4 small films, not high budget films, but really great in their art. And it was great, to have maybe, Danny Elfman or Alan Silvestri near me that evening, sharing the evening with them. That is something I really treasure in my heart. I really feel blessed for that. And I'm here to do it's my everyday work. I love it. No matter if it's a high scale film or it's a small indie film, it's my heart, right in my heart, to the score every time, and I feel so blessed for that. And I'm absolutely excited about what we are going to do with you in the future for your projects. That's something I'm here, to tell you this. I'm really proud of what you're doing. I'm really here to support your projects.
I appreciate it, Mariano. And I see that in some of your film projects, you were in sci-fi stuff. So
Yeah.
I want to put that into contrast with my grandfather's projects that he did, his legendary films that he did back in the day. For instance, my grandfather was right-hand man of Walt Disney back in the day during the pioneering era of the motion picture industry. He was Elisabeth Taylor's booking agent and talent manager. He got Elisabeth Taylor her gig in Cleopatra. I'm sure everyone remembers that.
That's freaking crazy, to just say
right?
that. It's like, wow.
Yeah. My grandfather was Mickey Rooney's booking agent and talent manager. You remember the Drummer Boy routine?
Yeah, Mickey Rooney, absolutely. Legendary. Yeah, legend.
And so my grandfather, Walt Disney was on the animation side, but they worked hand in hand. They referred to my grandfather, Walt Disney, and Mickey Rooney on the studio lots as the three amigos back in the day. So they were like the shot callers because they were the inventors of architecture, of blueprints for Hollywood filmmakers during that pioneering era. And so I wanted to, put into contrast some of the films that you've had experiences with in sci-fi practical effects, because that's what my grandfather did. He specialized in old school sci-fi practical effects. For instance, and I believe you're a big fan of this project, back in the 1970s, all you had for 10 years was the $6 million man.
Absolutely. Big fan. Lee Majors. I got something for you. I maybe in a few months I'll be scoring a film starring Jim Merrow. You know who is Jim Merrow? He was Oscar Goldman's secretary in.
Oh, that's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, she's filming a film named Andy, and it's about a robot, but an android,
Oh, really?
artificial intelligence, right? And she is so amazing, so amazing. She's doing a great work, and I'm so proud to be on board with that. I didn't remember to tell you this before. It's fresh news.
Oh, that's absolutely fabulous. That's great news.
Monroe. Yeah, she's amazing.
And we'll stop for a station identification. Once again, I'm your host, David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, live television producer on Jess TV on the Marilyn Monroe Show. You can tune in to Jess TV in Lethbridge, Canada, Roku TV, SSH 101, NCG Television Network, and JessFM.ca. And so I wanted to get into some of my grandfather's projects and put them into contrast with maybe some of these films that you're working on, upcoming projects, and what you've worked in the past with old school sci-fi practical effects, because that's what my grandfather specialized in. And that $6 million man project, my grandfather was the assistant director on the Bigfoot episodes, or Sasquatch. He brought Sasquatch to the screen for the very first time in film history. And so what my grandpa did is he had some connections with the WWF and Vince McMahon and those guys back in the day. And he went out and he got Andre the Giant to portray the Sasquatch role in the $6 million man. And so what my grandfather told me, he called me Honey, he says, Andre was such a big guy. He says, to make that Bigfoot suit, I had to have Andre lay down in hot wax to make a molding of his back and then his front. And then, he made the rubber suit around the molding, and then he attached all of the hair and everything to create Sasquatch for the very first time. So this new robot AI film that they're coming out with and projects you've worked on in the past, I know everybody remembers the Bionic Eye, Lee Majors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's all you had back in the 1970s was the $6 Million Man. That's all you had for like 10 years. So everybody watched that. And my grandfather was probably the most captivating, exciting episodes in the $6 Million Man trilogy in history of that show, which was fabulous. It got great ratings and viewers, for the networks and things. A great, fabulous, successful show. And getting Andre the Giant to play Sasquatch was very captivating, which brought more viewers and more ratings to the networks back then. So I just wanted to put my grandfather's old school sci-fi practical effects and give one example of what he did throughout his long career. And we'll get into Planet of the Apes in a minute because he created all of the ape suits for the original Planet of the Apes.
Wow.
But I just wanted to ask your personal viewpoint and opinion, Mariano, on what you think about my grandfather's work, what you've done in the past in contrast with projects that you worked on, and where we're headed in art direction. Because in these Monroe Universe films, we're going to have all the martial arts action legends, guys like John Ozuna, Don the Dragon Wilson, Cynthia Rothrock, people like that, fabulous martial arts legends who are, tremendous in, stunts and martial arts choreography to be, cast as the Marilyn Monroe Universe characters. So similar to the Marvel Universe, which my grandfather created in 1978, Captain America, we're going to have all of these fabulous Monroe Universe characters, only we'll have them in old school sci-fi practical effects with the Unreal 5 engine, similar to Castle Studios in Burbank. So we're going to put that together in these films in a new brand of art direction. My grandfather was a legendary art director. He was nominated for an Oscar in a 1955 film, Love Is a Many Splendid Thing, starring William Holden and Jennifer Jones. Fabulous picture. So that's what my grandfather specialized in. So I want to take that art direction to the next level and use that old school sci-fi practical effects, collaborate with, the Unreal 5 and stuff you see like.
Absolutely. Old school is so cool because, the audience is a bit tired of everything, CGI and all that stuff. They know it's fake and they love, the fans, the big fans like the old fashioned way of doing that because they know it's real. And that's something which is magic, We all have been inspired for these so talented people like your grandfather that they really found it, They really found a way to do it. And I think the audience is more going, towards something which is real, For example, the last Alien movie, it's a puppet, it's not CGI. That's amazing.
Right.
That's amazing. Yeah. And, when it comes up, when it comes to doing it, really, I like the old fashioned way, real instruments, real locations, not everything virtual,
Right, so that's fabulous. I do AI films as well, bringing me and my Aunt Marilyn Monroe back to life in short films on the screen. And you can see those on my Facebook platform with the AI films.
Yeah.
Well, that is just the tip of the iceberg on the technology that we have readily available to us in the motion picture industry to create new projects with AI, CGI, old school practical effects, and collaborate those into fabulous, tremendous, captivating motion picture projects in the Monroe Universe. It's going to be absolutely blockbuster. So I'm looking very forward to it. For instance, my grandfather, when he did Planet of the Apes, my grandfather, he had an ape head mannequin in the studios. And then he poured like this molten rubber melted rubber over these ape heads and created all of the ape suits and wardrobe for the original Conquest of the Planet of the Apes and those original ape movies that were not CGI. That took a lot of work to put in, a lot of detail. My grandpa told me he used to feel sorry for the extras because they used to have to stand around in those hot ape suits for 17 or 18 hours, while they were preparing all the makeup and wardrobe just to shoot one scene in that film. So that was a tremendous amount of work they did back then. Mariano, my grandfather, he worked with a handful of directors back in the day during the pioneering era to learn his style or facilitation process of art direction. I want to mention one of those after a station identification. Once again, my name is David Peace Monroe. I'm Marilyn Monroe's nephew. I'm your host on Jess TV and the Marilyn Monroe Show. You're watching Jess TV live from Lethbridge, Canada. You can tune in on Roku TV, SSH 101, NCG Television Network, and JessFM.ca. And so the old school sci-fi practical effects in, the Planet of the Apes were absolutely fabulous. And he worked with Akira Kurosawa on Tor, the original bombing of Pearl Harbor, an American movie classic, the most accurate war film ever created in the history of motion pictures. And so that director, Akira Kurosawa, worked with director Honda in Japan in the creation of the original Godzilla films.
Wow.
So that was, those Godzilla films, that was a guy in a lizard suit.
Amazing.
And they had like a Legoland, so they had to get a certain camera angle and lighting with which to create this big fire-breathing monster effect. So that was a lot of work that those guys went to back then, and those viewpoints and opinions have been followed by Hollywood filmmakers to the tune of multi-trillions of dollars in profits in the box office on an international level. Films like Captain America, you change the name, you send the picture to another country, and you make more money in the box office. So those pioneering events were absolutely fabulous. And I see that in your work, you've done quite a bit of the sci-fi, old school practical effect films. And this upcoming film you're talking about, the cyborg, is it a cyborg cop or something like that, or robot?
Oh, no. It's about, I'm working on 2 films right now. I'm wrapping them up in a few weeks. One is a thriller, which is named The Deceived. Is produced by Dustin Gray and an Australian producer and a very, very talented director, Ash Aaron, which is, an amazing director. He's really into it, and I have felt really inspired by the story, and it's a mix of thriller, horror, and there's a spiritual side to it, which is really amazing for the movie. And I also working on another feature film named Cursed Waters, which is a pirate historical film by Mahal Empire Productions, Michael Mahal and Sonny Mahal. They are really amazing too. They're very successful indie filmmakers from Vegas. They're really great. Something which is really a blessed for me is working with such an amazing group of people, because each day you have to do, you have to face it, you have to write, you have to make it happen. And if you are surrounded by great group of people, I mean good people, that's it. You are going to come up with a great product if you work with great persons. It's right. Not only about being professional. You have to be professional. Okay, that's okay. But if you're a shit person, sorry for my French, it's not going to work. It's going to work if you help each other, if you understand what they're looking for, why, and supporting each other in the process, because nobody knows what is going to be that final product. In fact, you have an idea, but you really don't know where you're going because you're going for something which doesn't exist, right? So you have to help. You have to be, the light in that path that you're going to help to cross. So um, I'm very happy with that. It's a moment in my career after all over 20 years, and I'm so happy that I can really choose what I want to do and which people I want to work with. That's also a blessing for me, and it's something that I like to say it because that's my message. You have to work with people that make you feel good, and you're going to give so much better side of you because of that. And it's a good chain to be into.
Absolutely. That's absolutely fabulous. I've been in this business working relentlessly for 3 years. And, to find good people in the motion picture industry is difficult. So
Yeah.
it's taken me 3 years to assemble a team, put together projects. And when I met you, it was on Brian Sebastian Multimedia Group and Movie Reviews and More with over 75 million views.
Wow.
Brian Sebastian is fabulous. He handles media for the Oscars and the Super Bowl, and he interviews all the big players when they come on the red carpet in Hollywood with their motion picture projects. He's absolutely fabulous. And so I met you through his platform, and when I saw you and I had posted something about my grandfather's, it was either Planet of the Apes or the $6 Million Man, one of his projects, and you commented on it. We started a conversation. I go, well, there's my guy right there because he's a fan of my family. He knows our work.
Absolutely. It's a part of work. This is about being a family of work because you are going to spend countless hours, working on it. And, I work maybe over 10 hours a day, Monday to Sunday. You really live and breathe the project every day. So it's going to be hard, whatever you're going to try to do, it's going to be hard. So you better work with a good group of people.
Right. It's a lot of work, man. People think this entertainment business is easy. Sometimes I'm up till 4 o'clock in the morning collaborating or promoting or helping someone with some type of project in the motion picture industry into the wee hours of the morning. I don't sleep a lot, and I work out in the gym 7 days a week, so I'm constantly on the go, doing my paranormal investigation projects and different CE5 contacts, transcendent projects, all these different projects that I'm working on. But I want to talk about, after another station identification, once again, my name is David Monroe. I'm Marilyn Monroe's nephew. I'm your host on Jess TV in Lethbridge, Canada, on the Marilyn Monroe Show. You can tune in every Sunday night at 7 p.m. to the Marilyn Monroe Show live from Lethbridge, Canada on Roku TV, SSH 101, NCG Television Network, and JESSFM.ca. So what I want to talk about now in our final minutes as we're wrapping up here is our 6 films that we're creating, Marilyn Monroe films. Now, the first big one is my inherited intellectual property. And that is my biopic family perspective film, Marilyn, the Truth Forever Monroe. This is a story that has never been told before. All of the mystery and conspiracy theories and things that you hear about my Aunt Marilyn Monroe is all rubbish. So now I'm creating the truth film, the biopic family perspective film, Marilyn, the Truth Forever Monroe. And so just to give you an example, Brad Pitt went out in 2022 and he produced The Blonde for $22 million based on fiction. My film is based on fact. So this is a tremendous film, and it is something that will give my family and give my Aunt Marilyn Monroe closure. And I want to know your personal viewpoint and opinion and your feelings on that particular film, Mariano.
I think what you're doing is great because your aunt, Marilyn, was maybe one of the first front women, that she really fight to get her place in the industry, in the media. Imagine it was hard, in a man's world, right? So I think it's great that we have this chance to tell the story the way you have it in your heart and in your mind. It's a big honor for me. Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, Mariano, how she made that recognition in a man's world, in the entertainment world, was not only her nephew, but I'm the grandson of Jack Stubbs, prolific pioneering Hall of Fame legendary motion picture director. He was working in props in the 1955 film, The 7-Year Itch. And I believe it was director Wildman told him, he said, Jack, my grandfather was picking out dresses and things and props. So he said, Jack, what do you think about Marilyn? And he says, well, I think we should, put her in a delightful dress on the subway in Manhattan, have the subway go by, blow her dress up, showing her skin and legs, and drive the whole world bananas. And that's exactly what they did. They said, Jack, that's a great idea. We're going to shoot that scene. Now go in the wardrobe and pick us out a dress. So that was my grandfather's vision. And something else that I want to tell the viewers of where that vision came from was my great-grandfather, Theodore Jackman, was a famous oil painter. He painted a painting of my great-grandmother, Violet Rhodes, in a beautiful white dress at a cherry wood letter desk that my sister still has out in Vegas. So when he was working on that film, he thought of my great-grandmother, Violet Rhodes, in that white dress. And that's what inspired him to have the vision to create the Delicious Breeze, the most iconic scene in film history, if not the most iconic image in the entire planet, Mariano. I traveled the country 5 times from East Coast to West Coast in the last 3 years, and there's not some tavern or barber shop or restaurant or something that you don't see that image in every town across the country.
Absolutely. That dress, it's iconic. Yeah, absolutely.
So that was the vision of my grandfather, even hand-picking the dress in that project. And so we have our bioptic family perspective film, Marilyn, the Truth Forever Monroe. Then we have the Monroe Universe. Then we have Marilyn Monroe's Revenge. Then we have Marilyn Monroe in Wonderland, like an Alice in Wonderland themed project. Then we have Marilyn. That's going to be a great deal, isn't it? Click your heels, Toto. We've got to get home to Kansas. That's going to be a great one, right? And then we're going to have Marilyn Monroe in Oz, Marilyn Monroe in Wonderland, Marilyn Monroe's Revenge, the bioptic family perspective film, Marilyn, the Truth Forever Monroe. And then I believe we have a Marilyn Quinn type of project, or even an Alice in Wonderland project that we have coming up. I've got a bunch of great ideas, to put these projects together, all Marilyn Monroe genre films. They're all going to be exciting. They're going to be captivating. They're going to be new, exciting entertainment with old school sci-fi practical effects with CGI and Unreal 5 collaborated into the films. So that's going to take art direction to a whole nother level. This is going to be entertainment that no one in the world has ever seen before, and it's going to be absolutely fabulous because I've got you on board, Mariano Saulino, multi-award-winning filmmaker. You're fabulous, man. You win those music awards every year down in Hollywood on the red carpet at the music awards. You're the best of the best. That's why you're my guy. And, you speaking about how working with good people and good productions, not
absolutely
actors, good actors, good quality cinematography, good quality projects. So it's going to be absolutely fabulous, Mariano.
Absolutely. I'm so excited, and, looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it as well, my good man. And that's all the time we've got tonight, folks. Once again, my name is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew. I'm your host on Jess TV in Lethbridge, Canada, a tremendous project with global distribution. Tune in every Sunday night at 7 p.m. for the Marilyn Monroe Show, as I am the legacy of Marilyn Monroe, David Peace Monroe, and you can tune in live on Roku Television, SSH 101, NCG Television Network, Jess, JESSFM.ca, and www.JESSFM.ca. Next week, folks, I'll have my fabulous guest, John Ozuna. He was in The Matrix with Keanu Reeves and other tremendous projects. He's got another film upcoming entitled The Bouncer. John Ozuna is a two-time Guinness World Record holder, martial artist legend, and he's got the fastest hands I've ever seen since Bruce Lee. He's absolutely fabulous. He lives up in San Jose, and I'll probably pay a visit to the dojo because I'm in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame as well. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. Mariano, we appreciate your time from Argentina, and when you get back out here to California, Pioneer Studios, I'll come down there and get you on my team.
Absolutely.
We love you. Once again, this is David Monroe, Marilyn Monroe's nephew, Jess TV in Lethbridge, Canada. A tremendous project. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Thank you. Bye-bye.